That's like listening to what I have done in the past, because I feel like one of the things that we all know as caregivers, and as long as it goes on, well, first of all, I didn't recognize myself as a caregiver for a long time. Even as we got my mom diagnosed, I recognized my dad as a caregiver and the people that surrounded him, but it wasn't until a long time into her care, and I can't even say exactly when, that I realized I'm actually a caregiver too, because I was supporting a caregiver. So I think it is hard to recognize yourself unless you're the primary caregiver. You don't even realize it as it's happening, and it's a process that you only realize as you look back. I can see the whole process and the time frame as I look back, but as it's happening, you don't even realize you're becoming a caregiver, right? And then you're just in this role. And so that's kind of what happened. But about 10 years ago, I was running marathons and teaching classes and, doing all the things that she said that I was doing. But there also came a time where I did none of that, and just surviving was the goal. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, there's a lot of things that you need to do for yourself, right? Self-care we all hear that all the time. But you also don't realize that you're starting to lose yourself to the person you're caring for. Can we agree on that? You know it's good for you, and you acknowledge that, but
We need to start that slide.
okay, so
I know, how do we start the slideshow?
technical difficulties. So this is a very participatory class, and you don't have to. You can resist that. I even sometimes resist participating in things that I know are good for me. But I would ask you to just trust me. I'm not going to make you stand up and do yoga. I'm not going to make you meditate. I just want to give you a few breathing techniques to take with you. So who knows self-care is important? Thank you. Participating already. Okay, who feels like they have a self-care routine that they do? Oh. Does anybody want to share what they do for self-care?
I do Saturday morning aerobics, and I do tap dancing, and I do singing.
Wow. Saturday, all on Saturday, or do you do it throughout the week?
Singing on Wednesday night, Utah Voices, tap dancing Monday and Wednesday. Oh, and we also take a university class for the kids
Wow, that's wonderful.
to keep everything uncovered.
Well, and is it hard for you to get there?
No,
Oh, it's easy to get there. You look forward to it. I love that. I love that. That's great. Does anyone do a daily? Does anyone have a really solid daily self-care routine? I know you do, Dad. Well, you get up at 4:30 a.m. and then you run at 7, and you study and pray and meditate in the morning, which right there I'd like to acknowledge that prayer is self-care. Prayer is meditating. Praying to whoever you pray to is asking, thanking. It's a gratitude practice, right? And then many of us are asking questions and we're listening. So acknowledging that prayer, if you pray every day, that is self-care. So, and I would encourage you to do that, because and make time to do that. It's very simple. You can even do it when you wake up and in your bed. So anyone else want to share anything that they do for self-care?
So along with praying, I read my Bible, and I play with my dog.
Wonderful. Those two things alone, they do say that reduces stress, like having animals around, especially having a spiritual practice is a really important part of self-care and staying healthy, right? So hopefully, none of this is to add pressure to your already pressure-filled lives. It's actually to try to give you a stress relief. So who looks in the mirror and in the morning and tells themselves that they are doing the best that they can? Anyone do that? I love it. Yeah, really simple when you're getting ready, and something that, and by the way, I don't remind myself to do these things every day. I have two things that I do, and when I went through a really serious period of depression and I couldn't really keep any of my self-care habits, I just did two things. And one was breath work, and one was getting outside and walking around the neighborhood. And that's all I had to do, was breathe as I was walking around the neighborhood. So is there anyone that has a breath work practice already that does just breath work or meditation or yoga? Yoga? Do you? And it feels really good, right? That's the one thing we all know. Anyone read? Reading is self-care. Spending time for yourself. Listening to a podcast. Taking a drive when you listen to your own music and take care of yourself. Taking a walk with friends is very therapeutic. Talking to a therapist and a friend. I think the biggest thing with self-care is recognizing what for you feels like self-care, right? Because it's not going to be the same for everyone. For me, getting out and exercising is a huge part of my life, and it's when I feel the most cared for. So it's something that I love to do. So many things can be labeled self-care, as we can agree. So I was going to touch on prayer and meditation, but we already did that. Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about breath work, because one of the things that I've found is the big words like meditation and yoga. If I ever said we were going to do yoga in here, I'd have two people probably that have a yoga practice, right? But the basis of it, meditation and yoga, are breath work. And it's a tool that we can all take with us. We all have it, right? We're doing it right now without noticing it. But the noticing of it actually changes the tool that it is. So the science behind breath work is the sympathetic nervous system, aka fight or flight response, starts to dominate throughout the day. Thus, breathing becomes fast and shallow. When you're nervous or you're stressed, you can notice that, right? You start to just only do the short, shallow breaths. When you deliberately slow down your breath and focus on inhaling through your nose and completely exhaling through your nose, this calms the nervous system and brings on your parasympathetic system, which para, as we know, means for the sympathetic. Okay, so now's when you guys get to get involved. So go ahead and close your eyes. And you don't have to, if you don't want to do anything I'm saying. Start to notice your natural breath. So the inhale, bringing the oxygen in. How does that feel? Where can you feel your breath? As you bring the air in, are your shoulders lifting? Are you tightening anywhere? And then notice your natural exhale. Just kind of notice your body. Are you clenching anywhere? Are you drawing your shoulders towards your ears? Are you tight in your muscles? Just start to kind of relax. And as you find that breath, start to lengthen your inhale. So as you bring air in, start to lengthen your exhale, and think about lengthening your body and sitting up just a little bit taller in your chair. And then on your exhale, just kind of relaxing your shoulders and sinking down into your chair. And then I would invite you to uncross your legs and plant both of your feet on the ground. Kind of roll your shoulders back. Nobody's looking at you, so you can do whatever you want. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. And then you can roll your chin towards your chest and take your left ear to your left shoulder. And then bring it back to a neutral spine, or your chin just towards your chest. Keeping your eyes closed, come back to your breath. And now can you lengthen your inhale and maybe put a count to your inhale? Notice the top and the bottom of your breath. So on the inhale, that would be the top of the inhale. And on your exhale, notice the bottom of the exhale, trying to empty out your lungs all the way. Keep bringing your awareness back to your breath. And as your mind wanders, notice where it wanders to. Don't judge yourself for letting your mind wander. Just bring it back to your breath. And any emotions or feelings or thoughts that come up, just notice them. Can you start to expand your breath? So on your inhale, expand your lungs. And on your exhale, feel your lungs emptying like you're all through your nose. Try to remain breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And take one more breath like this. And then just gently open up your eyes. Kind of notice, does anyone feel different when you just notice your breath? Do you feel different at all? Not really? Okay. That's okay too. Okay. So I feel like when I start to notice my breath, I take longer inhales and I take longer exhales. So this is something you can take with you, right? And you feel your nervous system calm down a little bit. So anytime you feel a stressor, you can just pull that out of your pocket and be like, I can just do breath work. So I'm going to give you a couple of different kinds of breath, and you can participate if you want, or you can just watch us do it. I'm not trying to force anybody to do anything, but just maybe feel how it feels when you practice these breaths. Okay, so this next breath is called physiological sigh, and we do it a lot in naturally, but you don't notice it. But it is a way to expand, like the science behind it is expanding the alveoli sacs a little bit more, and getting as much air in there as you can and expanding the lungs, because our lungs tend to kind of collapse. Dad, don't quote me on the science behind this. I've got a doctor in the room, so I can't really. So anyway, but the idea of it is that you're filling those alveoli sacs a little bit fuller. So the way you perform this breath is you'll inhale deeply. You'll take a deep breath in through your nose. And then at the top of the breath, you'll take one more inhale, a second breath, a shorter breath, and then you'll exhale completely through your mouth. So it's like a sigh, right? So you'll do inhale, a deep inhale, and again inhale, and exhale. So let's close our eyes for this so nobody's watching me. Okay. So let's practice this 3 times, and just you'll do it on your own breath because everybody's breath is different. So go ahead and close your eyes, and when you're ready, inhale, and another inhale, and then exhale. And you can make a noise if you want. A couple more times, inhale, and again, and exhale, and again, inhale. And inhale again. Exhale, open mouth, exhale. Do 2 more like that. And one more. And gently open your eyes. So can you feel the difference in that with that breath a little bit? So this is one that I feel like is a really easy one to do when you're in your car and you're frustrated, and you can just pull out this physiological sigh and do that a few times, and it changes, it involves the parasympathetic. Okay, so the next exercise we have is deep breathing. So can we stand up, or is that too much? You stand up if you want. It's a little bit easier to expand your lungs if you can, but if you want to stay seated, feel free. Okay, so planting your feet nice and grounded. You can open your palms up if you feel comfortable to do that, or you can stay closed off, whatever you want to do. And then close your eyes again. Notice your natural breath and where in your body you might be holding tension. Start to guide your breath. So on your inhale, you'll stand up a little bit taller, a little bit straighter. Think about a string coming out the top of your head and lengthening through your spine on your inhale. And then exhale again through your nose. Try to remain breathing in and out through your nose. And as you exhale, just soften into the earth and feel all the four corners of your feet and the grounding through your feet. And again, inhale through your nose. Notice the top of your breath, so at the top of your inhale, and just a gentle hold at the top, and then exhale again through your nose. If you need to at any time open your eyes up to get your bearings, feel free to do that. So again, now we're going to add a little bit of a count to this breath, and if yours is faster or slower, feel free to breathe however you need to. So with your inhale, you'll inhale, and we'll count to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just hold gently at the top, and then exhale, 2, 3, 4. If you can expand that breath and go longer on the inhale, try to do that. So putting a count to your own breath. Hold at the top, and then exhale, and just kind of sink into your grounding. So with your inhale, think about lengthening your spine and the back of your neck lengthening. And then with your exhale, soften your shoulders, soften your body, feel grounded to the earth. So let's do that one more time, and start this time as you inhale, draw your shoulders up towards your ears. So we'll add a little bit of action. On your inhale, draw your shoulders up towards your ears. And on your exhale, draw your shoulder blades together, and then start to soften your shoulders down and back. And on your inhale, draw your shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale, draw your shoulder blades together and relax your shoulders down towards the earth. Let's do that 2 more times. So on your inhale, draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Just adding a little bit of action in. And then exhale, shoulder blades together, down and back, and softening. Do a few more breaths on your own count. You can add the shoulders, or just keep your eyes closed. And for the last 2 breaths, let's do 2 more breaths and try to exhale a little bit longer than you inhaled. So add 1 more count to your exhale. And then just gently open your eyes and notice how you feel. Feel any different? A little bit better? Yeah. Okay, so this next one is belly breathing, and you can participate if you want. I like to, when I'm doing belly breathing, or you can move the breath anywhere you want, right? In the action, you can move it into your lungs and expand your lungs or your belly. I like to be laying down, but in this case, you can either stand or sit. Feel free to do whatever feels best to you. And then I'll just guide you through it. So can everyone hear me okay? Okay. Because I'm going to have you close your eyes again, because that's the easiest way to just go internal with yourself. So, okay. So whether you're standing or sitting, go ahead and close your eyes and find your belly with your right or left hand. You can even find your heart with your left and your belly with your right hand. That's how I would do it if I was laying down on the ground. So start to notice your breath. And you're going to start to guide your breath. So with your inhale, you'll expand your breath into your belly. So you'll try to expand your belly on the inhale, right? Like someone's blowing a balloon up in your stomach. Hold that balloon at the top, and then on your exhale, try to slowly exhale the air out through your nose. You can make a little bit of a sound if you want. And then hold that at the bottom, so like you're letting the air out of a balloon. And again, inhale. And notice how this feels moving the breath into the belly instead of just into the lungs. And if you can do that, this is, they call it a practice, not a perfect. So, and then as you exhale, contract those abdominals. Find your abdominals. Try to contract your abdominal muscles as you exhale, drawing the transverses in. So we're going to go 1 minute with your own breath. And notice if this is hard to do, right? If it's hard to stay in the breath and where your mind wanders to, keep bringing it back to the breath. Maybe putting a count to the breath or noticing how it feels as your belly expands and contracts. And then go ahead and open your eyes at the end of your breath and notice how you feel. And go ahead and take a seat if you guys are, you probably feel a little bit lightheaded if you're not used to breathing that deep, right? So has this kind of been informative to anyone that they didn't notice that they were breathing shallowly? Maybe a little bit. Okay, before we go to the next breath exercise, I want to ask again if anyone has any habits that they've thought of that they have formed during this caregiving journey that they want to share. Any kind of self-care habits that they've formed. Mary, you walk, don't you?
Well, I used to walk but I have a brand new puppy, so she keeps me busy.
So she keeps you busy. But the weather's getting nice out there, so it's going to happen again.
Katie and I are neighbors, so yes, I walk.
Yeah.
I like to walk.
You see me out there every day. Yeah. Anyone else want to share what they do? Suzette. Nature is such a healing, just the sun even, is such a healing place. Being outside, and right now the weather, with the way the weather's going, it's so nice. Okay, so the next breath, actually, you know what? I'm going to skip this and move to the aromatherapy, because everyone has oil in their bag, right? And if you're allergic to oil and you already know it, you don't need to do this, but I'm just going to, is our doTERRA girl in here? Sunny. Okay, and she has Sunny has offered to do, are you doing aroma touch out there? Like, well, and the other great thing about oils and a scent is that it wakes up your sense of breathing too. I mean, besides having a scent there and a smell, it wakes up your breath work. So if you have that, if you want to, because I like to do this with lavender, but you can go ahead and just drop a drop on your palm. So if you have your orange and you want to open it up, you don't have to. I'll just tell you how to do this. So you'll just drop a little drop on your palm. And then you'll go ahead and rub it in your hands. And then bring your hands, like your own diffuser, just up to your nose. And go ahead and breathe in through your nose. And then exhale. You can keep your hands up if you want. Just take a few breaths like that. So I like to do this one with lavender. Yes.
doTERRA has a good one called Breathe, or you could even use peppermint. And so for anxiety, or if you're feeling overwhelmed or panicky or whatever, or you want to calm your breath, lavender is amazing too, or you could do them together. But I find that Breathe or peppermint and breathing it in immediately calms your system and opens your lungs. And I have kids with asthma, and when they use Breathe, they can expand the lungs and calms them down. So it's really
Yeah, and it takes their attention away too from whatever is stressing them out, right? So when you're breathing and you're focused on breathing or taking this scent in, notice that you can't think about two things at once. So when you're focused on this aroma and bringing it in, your mind's moving away from the things that are stressing you out. So it is a really good tool that you have. You don't even have to have an oil. You can do this. And even though we love doTERRA and you're here, there's lots of different oils that you can use. This is not a plug for them, but there's lots of different ways that you can get a scent. Okay.
I just want to share one thing that's really awesome about the oils, any oil, but I love doTERRA. I cared for my dad for over 10 years with Alzheimer's, and anytime that I could get the oils on him, on his feet, on his hands, get him to smell it, put it behind his ears, it would immediately change his mood, almost within like 1 minute. It gets into your bloodstream so quickly. It's almost more effective for them. My father was at a place where he couldn't communicate anymore, and it was almost like that was his way of being like, okay, now I can communicate because I can express myself when you put these oils on me. So it's very magical, and they're very powerful, especially when you have this disease and you can't communicate, and they can't express themselves very well. It's such a beautiful connection.
I love it. Yeah.
Frankincense and myrrh was once a gift for a great king. And I've been giving it to my dad, who's struggling, and put it around his neck.
Oh. I heard that frankincense is pretty expensive though, isn't it?
But it's good for cognitive, for the brain.
There you go. Well, I love it. Okay, so imaging breath, I'm just going to go over some of these and then we'll come back to the box breath. What I've realized is with a lot of people that are just coming to breath work, it is a lot if you're just spending 30 minutes focused on your breath and breathing deeper, and it's you kind of have to drinking through a fire hose if you're not used to it. So imaging breath is a tool that you can use if I like to use this when I can lay down and close my eyes. And then you can picture yourself in nature. If you can't access that, you can close your eyes and picture yourself anywhere else, right? And breathe while you're doing it. Progressive muscle relaxation, let's do that one, because that one's an easy one that we can do. Let's see. Can you go back on this, Chuck, or no?
Yeah,
Am I?
the keys in the right corner.
Oh,
The left arrow key.
okay, so let's do progressive muscle relaxation because this is a fun one. So go ahead and close your eyes again. So like we're tired of closing our eyes. Okay, and go ahead and with your inhale, you're going to make fists with your hands, squeezing your fists as you inhale. And then with your exhale, relax your hands and feel the difference between that muscle contraction and then relaxation. And then next inhale, you're going to squeeze your face. So everyone's eyes are closed, so you can't see. Squeeze your face as much as you can, contracting the muscles in your face. And then with your exhale, just relax. And then next inhale, go ahead and contract your shoulders up towards your ears. And then on your exhale, relax your shoulders down. And then try to do this with your biceps. So on your inhale, your Popeye muscles, try to contract your biceps. And then on your exhale, relax. So you kind of get you can go through all the different muscles that you know how to access, maybe squeezing your thighs on your inhale. And then on your exhale, relax. And with all of this breath work, as you come out of it, notice how you feel. Take a minute to notice how the contrast between when you're doing it and the feelings of that parasympathetic, the calming of your nervous system, your autonomic nervous system. Okay, so I did bring some pinwheels, and then we didn't put them together. So the pinwheel breath, this is a really fun one because you can just have any kind of a, some people do it with bubbles, you know. So you have, and it's a fun one to do with your person, your loved one, because then they can get involved too. So with bubbles, you're exhaling and blowing the bubbles out, and then on your inhale, you're breathing in through your nose. And then on your exhale, you're exhaling through your mouth to blow bubbles, or to, if you guys want a pinwheel, you can take it with you and put it together, another fun activity to do. And if we have time, we'll just pass those out at the end, and then people can put those together. So Nadi Shodhana is opposite. It means one nostril breath work. So let's do this one really quick, and I'll show it to you, and then you can, if you want to do it later. Yeah, go ahead.
It also gets rid of headaches.
Nadi Shodhana. Okay, good. Anybody else know anything more? Like, feel free to give me more information if I'm not saying the things. And this one helps. Okay. Okay, so let's try this one. You're going to form a Y with your hands, with your one hand, whatever hand is dominant. And so you're going to cover your right nostril with your thumb as you inhale. Inhale through the left side. And then on your exhale, you'll switch to your pinky and exhale through the other nostril. Okay, so again, inhale through the one side. Switch and exhale. So close your eyes if that's a possibility now that you know the exercise. Inhale. Remember, just stay with what's comfortable with your breath. Exhale. Do one more breath on this side. And then stay with your pinky on your one nostril, and then start the other side. So you'll inhale through, now the opposite side. And then switch. You kind of notice which side's dominant in your breathing too, right? Okay. When you finish that breath, go ahead and open your eyes. You feel different after you do that breath. Am I right? Okay, yes. I'll do it myself. Okay, the last breath that we're going to practice is this box breathing. And I know that everyone is kind of in their own version of stress, but I have heard that if you are in trauma, you should not hold your breath. So box breathing may not be for you if you feel anxiety when you do this breath. But I am going to introduce it to you and see if it's something for you or not, and you can participate or not. So the concept is, on the inhale, you're inhaling 4 counts or 6 counts, whatever count you can inhale, and then you'll hold for that same number of counts, and then with your exhale, same number, and then hold at the bottom for the same number. Okay, does that make sense? So you're inhaling, holding equal, exhaling, holding equal at the bottom. So go ahead again and close your eyes. And then when you're ready, you're going to put a count to your inhale. So on your inhale, you'll count 2, 3, 4, and whatever your inhale is. And then hold at the top, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your nose, 2, 3, 4, and hold at the bottom of your breath, 2, 3, 4. Keep going with that breath. So inhale and expand through your lungs. Think about that expansion through your chest. Hold at the top, the same number of counts. Exhaling the same number of counts. And holding at the bottom. So we're going to go for a minute, and you can do any kind of breath work you want. If you want to keep with the box breathing, just keep your eyes closed and try to remain with your attention on your breath, whatever version of the breath you want to do. And notice if your mind starts to wander. Then at the end of your next exhale, go ahead and open your eyes. Do we feel different? The one thing I will say is for 40 minutes, you probably didn't get on your phone and you didn't think too much about other things. And that is the biggest thing, right? For stress and the situation you're in as a caregiver, trying to distract yourself is a very helpful tool. Am I right? When you're feeling stressed out. And focusing on your breath is such an easy tool. You can have it in your back pocket. You can remind yourself however you need to that it's always there for you. It's always with you. And you can use it as an easy tool. And I would challenge you all as we're here, and thanks for being here so much. I think this is really what caregivers need. We need community. We need to know that we're not in this alone. We need to share our stories, because no 2 stories are alike, but they have similarities, and you feel that connection when you're with other people that are doing the same thing as you. So I would encourage you to meet each other and talk to each other and learn each other's stories and form a caregiving community and teams. I know other speakers will talk about that and tell you to do this. It's so hard when you're in the middle of it. But I would really encourage that. And then the one other challenge that I would give you before you leave and you start thinking about other people again, as caregivers are so good at, I would challenge you to have one small habit of caregiving that you have in your pocket. Maybe it's, I'm going to start a prayer practice. I'm going to go outside in the morning to see the sunrise, or if that's not possible, just get outside once every day and breathe outside. I'm going to think about myself while I'm driving. I'm going to listen to my favorite music. I'm going to listen to a book, a podcast, anything, to think about yourself. That is self-care. And I would just challenge you to create a habit now and start to do that, however small it is, and recognize that you're doing it in the day, and take care of yourself. It's really hard to do, and I would just encourage you to do that. So thanks so much for being here. And these slides, and everybody, the presenters, we're okay to share that, right? Everyone's okay with that? Because this will all be available on our website. So you can share this with other people. We've got Suzette's Care and Outreach, and she's happy to answer any questions. All of us are super available. I will give you my personal cell phone if you ever want to talk to me or tell me your story. I love to hear it. And even though my mom passed a year ago, and someone brought up that we did this last year, and to be honest, I don't even remember half the things that went on last year because we were in the thick of it. But being through it, I needed a little time stepping away, but I just want you to know that I feel for you if you're caring for someone and trying to care for yourself. And I'm here for you, so I'm serious about that. So feel free to text me or get my number. So thanks so much, you guys.